Are the Boston Celtics about to dodge a bullet in the Eastern Conference? Rumors are swirling around a certain all-star who may be looking for a way out of Miami, and it could change the playoff landscape. While fans speculate on his next move, one thing is clear. The Celtics should be paying attention. If you want to stay in the loop about all the latest Celtics news and rumors, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Jimmy Butler's recent trade rumors have sent shockwaves through the NBA community, and as a die-hard Boston Celtics fan, I can't help but feel a mix of emotions about the implications for our team. Reports have surfaced indicating that Butler prefers to be traded out of Miami, with a few Western Conference teams on his radar, including the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Dallas Mavericks, and Houston Rockets. This could be a significant relief for the Celtics, as it means we might not have to face him in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Let's break this down. Butler is in the final year of his contract and has a hefty $49 million deal left, which complicates any potential trade. It's worth noting that while he hasn't formally requested a trade from the Heat, the sentiment is there. He's looking for a new deal, likely to finish his career in a place that feels right to him. So, seeing him in a different uniform next season isn't out of the question. Now consider this. If Butler does end up in the West, it could alter the entire landscape of the playoffs. The Celtics, while they're not guaranteed a trip to the NBA Finals, would certainly prefer to avoid Miami, especially given the history between our two franchises. We all remember the intense battles in the playoffs. They always seem to bring out the best, and sometimes the worst, in both teams. Butler may be showing signs of slowing down in his 14th NBA season, but make no mistake, he's still a playoff threat. The Celtics have their own challenges to navigate, especially with health concerns lingering over the roster. Joe Mazzulla's early season struggles have raised questions, and we need to ensure that our team can maximize its potential come playoff time. But what does this mean for our championship aspirations? If Butler leaves the East, we might face fewer hurdles on our way to the finals. But let's be real. The road is never easy, and the Celtics cannot afford to get complacent. I'm not saying we should take anything for granted. But if Miami decides to move on from Butler, it's a clear signal from Pat Riley that he doesn't see the Heat as serious contenders anymore. And here's where I stand. As much as I respect Butler as a player, I wouldn't mind seeing him out of the East. You have to think about the long-term future of our franchise. This might be the moment where we could solidify our standing in the conference. But I'm also a bit torn. Butler has that innate ability to elevate a team in the playoffs, and it's hard to ignore his competitive nature. So, what do you think? Was it the right move for the Celtics to sit back and let Butler potentially join a Western Conference team? I'm honestly divided. On one hand, it opens up our path to the finals, but on the other, it feels a bit like dodging a bullet. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Butler's situation? Do you think the Celtics should have pursued him harder? The Boston Celtics have found themselves in a tough spot ahead of their Christmas Day showdown against the Philadelphia 76ers. After a shocking 108-104 loss to the Orlando Magic, where they squandered a 15-point halftime lead, the Celtics are reeling. The absence of superstar Jason Tatum, who was ruled out due to a non-COVID illness just minutes before tip-off, certainly played a pivotal role in that defeat. Despite a valiant effort from Jaylen Brown, who dropped 35 points, the team committed 19 turnovers, which is simply unacceptable for a championship-caliber team. Now, as we look ahead to the matchup against the 76ers, the injury report is raising even more eyebrows. Tatum is still listed as questionable, and now we hear that Drew Holiday is dealing with a right shoulder impingement, while Derek White is facing some tightness in his right hamstring. 3 of our key players potentially missing this game? That's a serious concern. This situation has us fans on edge, especially considering how well the 76ers have been playing lately, winning 7 of their last 10 after a rough start to the season. You know, this isn't just about one game, it's about the trajectory of our season. The Celtics currently sit at 22-7, which is still a solid record, but we're trailing the Cleveland Cavaliers by 3.5 games, and just 3 games ahead of the New York Knicks. The last time we were in this position, it felt like we were on the cusp of greatness, and now, we're teetering closer to 3rd place than we are to 1st, and that's a bitter pill to swallow for us diehard fans. Coach Joe Mazzulla mentioned how our offense let us down against Orlando. You can't help but feel the frustration. We've been averaging over 53 point attempts per game, but against the Magic, we only managed 33. converting a dismal 24.2%. That's not the Celtics brand of basketball. When you look back at last season, we finished second in the league in three-point shooting percentage, and now we're tied for 15th. What's going on with our shooting? Are we missing that killer instinct, or is it just a rough patch? As we head into this Christmas Day clash, the stakes couldn't be higher. The 76ers are coming in hot and motivated. This is the most anticipated game for them this season, and they smell blood in the water with our injuries. I can't shake the feeling that if we lose this game, it could set a negative tone for the rest of the season. We can't afford back-to-back losses, especially not against our rivals. Let's talk about the roster for a moment. The Celtics have a strong foundation, but I can't help but think we might need to explore adding some depth, particularly a wing player, as we approach the trade deadline. Kristaps Porzingis has been a valuable asset, but is it enough? We need to ensure that we can compete with the top teams in the East. We've seen teams rise and fall in this league, and I want to believe we're still a championship contender. But we've got to address these vulnerabilities, so what do you think? Was it wise to hold out Tatum even though he's questionable? I'm honestly torn on this one. We all want him healthy for the long haul, but the urgency of the moment is palpable. And with the injuries piling up, what's the best path forward for this team? I want to hear from you. What are your expectations for the game against the 76ers? Do you think we can pull off a win, or are we in trouble? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates as we navigate this roller coaster of a season. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay in the loop with all the latest Celtics news. Let's rally together, Celtics Nation.